Well, here's a question I bet you didn't expect me to ask today. Is it actually possible to have too much sex?
Didn't expect that one when I put my yellow tie on today.
There you go.
The only person to ask, because I can't answer that, is Dr. V with Houston Relationship Therapy. Good morning, Dr. V.
We're going to find out today.
All right,
There we go.
you're the expert. Take it away.
Okay, there is actually such a thing as having too much of a good thing, especially when it comes to the very physical act of sexuality.
Why? What's going on there?
Well, if you're having too much sex, it's going to possibly cause micro tears, physical discomfort, soreness, and that's why it's so important, not just to avoid this, but more for the pleasure side of it. You want to use lubrication anytime you are experiencing any sort of sexual play. So yeah, they could definitely help with that physical discomfort. Yeah.
Do you feel like it can become routine after a while if you're doing it all the time?
Yes, if it ends up becoming more about the quantity than the quality, it can certainly turn into something that's more mechanical, more routine, and boring, which you certainly don't want to have that as part of your playtime.
What about annoying? Maybe for one person more than the other?
If you find that you're having to kind of like pester or annoy your partner to try to initiate or get something started, it might be a sign that maybe you didn't leave enough time between the last experience to now. Let them want you, leave them wanting a little more. Don't just always be ready or at the ready when it comes to initiating.
Any other issues that this could cause?
So what I have heard is that lots of times if people are talking to friends, especially other couples, about their kind of just comparing their love lives, it can start to become a little bit competitive. I've heard many a woman come home and say, did you know that, you know, Sally and no. Just because she's not here. Are, you know, having sex 4 to 5 times a week, we need to step it up. Then it can become less about what's going on between the two of you and more about being competitive, and that's not necessarily the way you want to do that.
How do you have the conversation then to tell your partner, like, nah, we're doing this a little too much?
Yeah. Well, I think you can say, I'm starting to, and I'm losing the anticipation for it. I'm not as excited when I'm thinking about having sex, and I think it's because we're having it too much. Just like if we had ice cream every single day, we probably wouldn't get excited when we heard, you know, the bell ringing outside in the neighborhood.
And when do you say that you have that conversation? Is it not at the time when they're initiating and you're, you know, got a migraine all of a sudden? Is this something that, you know, you talk about quietly over the dinner table, or how do you do that?
I think I'm always a big fan of having a weekly relationship meeting with your partner, and this would be one of the points on the agenda, is to say, you know what, I feel like physically and maybe even starting to become more emotionally, we're just doing it a little too much. Maybe we can try different things, but more specifically, I'm talking about penetration or intercourse. And so I just think it's important to have those conversations. Yes, we are very physical beings, and we need to be mindful of that. And just because your experience is different than your partner's doesn't mean it's not valid. So making sure to talk about it anytime, but especially during those meetings.
I'm betting a whole lot of couples aren't talking about this. What do you think?
They're not. I know they're not. We're at Houston Relationship Therapy. We talk about it every day, but I'm going to encourage all of you, if you're not getting that professional help, to just take some time to ask your partner. You know, Dr. Viviana was talking about this on the morning news. What do you think? Are we having too much sex? Not enough? You know, let's find out.
All right, and that weekly relationship meeting, I'm going to take that from you, because you got to sometimes got to have a staff meeting with your relationship.
You do. Like, just set it for 20 minutes. No longer. People just zone out of any meeting after 20 minutes. Right?
Light a candle, make it light.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Dr. V.
Thanks.